Well, hello there. I see you've stumbled into my lavished crib. Don't be shy, come on in, come on in. Why don't you take your shoes off and stay a while and listen? Welcome to the video, gents. Construction is definitely one of the most densely packed skills in all of RuneScape. It can be hard to unpack all that knowledge and see what's actually useful in it. My goal is to make it all as easily digestible as possible and lay it out nicely in a tier list. Of course, I'll hit you guys with the old try hard razzle dazzle and add some flair to it, so it's not going to be so one-dimensional. I have but one single disclaimer for you. I'm specifically going to be talking about the buildable house pieces and rooms. Construction does have a lot of useful unlocks outside of just strictly building, so we're just going to push all that to the side and completely deny its existence. I don't want to see one comment about stash units, diary levels, or home locations. Papa's going to be angry at that. I'm going to get the belt, I swear to God. I do want to thank the sponsor that made this video possible before we actually talk about anything else. It's me. I'm the sponsor. You know, I just did a really great job, just fantastic work all around. Also, I guess I should thank a Mr. Ganondorf from my Discord. He 100% came up with the idea for this video. I am simply his humble vessel bringing it to life. So be sure to join the Discord and give him that big old emote of appreciation. You know which one I'm talking about. But you know what I think? I think it's time to start talking about our first level bracket. You might notice that this tier list isn't a standard lettered one. Everything I'll talk about, in my opinion, is worthy of being mentioned. So if you don't hear me talk about it, chances are it doesn't provide a tangible benefit to your account. So in these levels, there isn't a whole lot of exciting stuff to build. If you're following the wiki for early level training, you'll need a parlor, a kitchen, a workshop, and a dining room. I would say the dining room and the parlor go in the lowest tier because besides training, there isn't any real use for them. I am going to rank the workshop one higher than that because in the later levels it provides a little bit more utility with repairing Barrow's armor and providing free tools. I'm also going to place the bedroom right next to it. Eventually you're going to want a servant in your house, and to get one you'll need at least 2 bedrooms, each with a bed built inside of it. You can also build some furniture inside these rooms to customize your character, but let's be real, unless you're a filthy bank stander, no one really cares about this. Or you. As for the kitchen, I'm going to go up one notch higher. It provides one of the best spots to train your construction, and typically everyone will find themselves there at one point or another. I do feel like I need to mention that with some of the shelving in your kitchen, you're able to make yourself cups of tea that boost your construction. It's a bit convoluted, so I don't typically recommend people do this. I mean, at the end of the day, there's better ways to boost your level. We're actually going to talk about one of those right now. The crystal saw is one of 2 quest exceptions I'm going to make here in this video. It's locked behind the quest, the Eyes of Glorfrey? I don't know. But it provides a +3 boost to construction whenever it's in your inventory for furniture that requires a saw and a hammer to build. I mean, if I've said it once, I've said it a million times. You can't build a plant with a saw. I highly recommend everyone does this quest sooner rather than later. I guess the only real piece of furniture that actually made its way onto the list is the humble bookcase. It allows you to retrieve a lot of different books in the game after you've collected them. Specifically, it's an easy spot to get a collection log or just like a copy of Tarn's diary for enchanting salve amulets, if you've misplaced either of them. For that, I'll place it right in the specific use column. Alright, the 30s and 50s are when you get your first taste of what a PoH is actually capable of. The Oak Larder becomes available at level 33 and is considered to be one of the best ways to level construction during these middle levels. It really is great, but its only function is to help you level, so there isn't really too much to say on it. A menagerie becomes available soon after that, but I'd only bump it up one higher than the larder. It's basically just used to hold pets and show them off, but it is super cool when you have a few of them roaming around, such as the pet rock and the pet goldfish. So one of my personal favorite house additions is the tip jar. You know, I really want to throw this all the way to the top, but who are we kidding? I don't have friends. And with the lack of friends, I don't even have the option to exploit them for money. So unfortunately, we're going to have to put this one down here. What else do we have? Oh, we do have the costume room. I'm going to rank that between the middle and the bottom. If you're a pack rat like myself, then when your bank is full, the costume room can provide a lot of extra storage for Fashionscape items. You know, maybe you're not going to build this one right away, but once your account is a little bit higher level and you have a lot of stuff saved up in the bank, you're going to want to get one. At level 45 construction, you're able to build yourself a chapel, and more specifically an altar. Until you get the restoration pool, the altar is a super convenient way to get your prayer back without having to run to a church. I'm definitely going to recommend everyone build one of these. So this next one is a big one. With a mounted glory amulet, you're finally able to get unlimited teleports to a few locations. You'll need to build it in a quest hall, but it's more than worth the small investment. I mean, we're going to put it all the way up to the top. But at the same construction level, you also unlock the ability to make mounted mythical capes. I mean, there's not too much to say about them. They provide a slightly cheaper way to train construction at a slightly lower XP rate when compared to oak larders. Either is a completely viable option though. The combat dummy is going to be up next, and I'm just going to put that guy straight in the middle. When you hook one up in your combat room, you're able to see what your max hit is when you smack it. I mean, it's just a good bit of fun smacking that thing, but it's also helpful to see what your count is looking like and test out different gear choices. Also, there's actually a little trick here you can do with an ancient mace. Whenever you smack anything with the special attack of an ancient mace, you're able to get extra prayer based on how high you hit. It's not super practical, but it can be nice to overfill your prayer before you start something if you want to be extra prepared on it. And finally, we have ourselves one of the most sought after PoH upgrades, a portal room. It's going straight to the top. I don't think I need to explain why a central location to teleport basically anywhere is super useful. You can only make 3 portals per room though, so you definitely want to build a few of them. Okay, so up to this point I haven't talked about boosting all that much. I would say going forward that you might want to start thinking about using spicy stews and the crystal saw. Building certain furniture 8 levels ahead of normal can really save you a lot of money. Down below I'm going to start adding the boosted levels next to the regular level for items I think it's worth it for. 51 to 70 is actually going to be the lightest section to talk about. Of course, certain pieces from the next section could be made here with boosting, but we'll just save them for later. So first up we have the armor stand. It's going to be used to restore your barrow's armor, and the cost of the repair is going to be determined by your smithing level. But no matter what, it's always going to be cheaper than using bob and lumberage. I'm going to throw it in specific use. So remember the combat dummy? Well, at level 58 you're able to build yourself an ornate and undead one. Really, you're going to unlock yourself a handful of different dummies you can add on. These extra dummies function as specific monster types, so you can see your max hit with monster specific gear. It's going to add a little bit more utility to the regular combat dummy, so we're just going to throw it one above the bottom. We do have the servant's money bag next, which I'm going to put down in specific use. You're able to store up to 3 mil in it, and it provides an automatic way to pay your butler as he's helping you train your construction. At level 65 you unlock the ability to make yourself a superior garden. This room is very necessary for basically any account. It has a spot to build a few different teleports, and a spot to build the rejuvenation pool. Speaking of which, the pool spot can be upgraded several times as you level up. You can do each pool upgrade as soon as you reach the level for it. I'm just going to wait to talk about it until we reach the level for the highest version. I'm also going to do that with several other items as we progress through this. But finally, we have ourselves the marble incense burner. If you're planning on training prayer at your house, or lending your house for other players to train in, you'll definitely need to have 2 of these built in your chapel. Otherwise, don't even worry about constructing them.
Where the fun begins.
Alright, we've made our way up to the levels for the big boys. You definitely want to start boosting a lot of this stuff, or you'll need like an extra 100 mil just sitting around to level up your account. So first up we have ourselves a mounted Xerix talisman and a mounted dig site pendant. You can build both of these inside a portal nexus room. I'm going to put them both inside the 2nd rank because their teleports are a little bit more niche than regular ones. We're also going to have ourselves oak doors. These doors are considered to be one of the best ways to finish off leveling your construction. You'll need to have a dungeon to build them, but it's very well worth it for training. The gilded altar is going to sit quite comfortably right next to it. I mean, again, the only real reason you want to build one of these is if you're training prayer at your house or lending it to other players. So if you're not doing that, then don't worry about building it. So as long as you have 83 farming, you're able to build yourself a spirit tree inside your superior garden. I find myself using this one quite frequently to get to Neve, so I'd highly recommend building one. So at level 80 construction, we're able to get quite a few different pieces. Instead of a spirit tree, you could build yourself a wilderness obelisk for teleports. We all know the wilderness is dead though, and no one PvPs, so this one probably isn't as useful as it sounds. But since we're on the subject of PKing, you're able to build yourself a scrying pool in any of your portal rooms. It allows you to see through where you would teleport in your portal room and potentially scout people to jump on. And it's just kinda neat being able to peek through. So the most important piece you can build at level 80 is the mounted coins in your achievement gallery. For reasons unknown, a lot of people don't actually have this built. But if you really want to be that guy, then there's no other item as potent as this. I mean, people won't have to waste time getting to know you. They can just look straight at your mounted coins and know right away that you're an asshole. Yeah, it's gonna go straight to the bottom. So we actually have a very useful piece next. At level 85, you're able to build yourself a fairy ring. It's actually because the spirit tree and the fairy ring are built on the same spot that most people build at least 2 superior gardens. And in my opinion, it's definitely worth it. So at this point, we have reached what people consider to be the highest level construction you need to get all the useful pieces, with boosting. Generally, this falls on the levels 82 to 84. These pieces actually include a lot of different upgradable furniture that I've just simply neglected to talk about. The highest level rejuvenation pool is buildable at level 90, and is typically what most people aim for when training construction. At the same level, you're able to build yourself an occult altar and swap between all of your spellbooks. I mean, it's unquestionably useful, but I definitely don't use it as much as just like teleporting, so I'm gonna put that one below the top. The final upgrade to the jewelry box is accessible from as early as level 83. I know jewelry teleports aren't exactly expensive and they aren't like locked behind high magic levels, but I still consider this piece to be very useful. I just like the convenience of having as many teleports at my house as possible. Some people might not rank this one as high as I am. So the final portal nexus upgrade is something I'm gonna put right in the middle. I mean, yes, it is super nice to have one room for all of your teleports instead of having a million portal rooms, but it's just much more expensive to fill out and doesn't add anything new. It's just a more convenient version of a regular portal. That being said, I still have one in my house, and if you want to spend the money on it, then go for it. But finally, we have come to our last item of note, the combination spirit tree and fairy ring. It's similar to the portal nexus in the sense that it doesn't actually add anything new. It's just slightly more convenient than having 2 superior gardens for the ring and the tree separately. On top of that, you need to have level 90 construction since you can't actually use the crystal saw to help boost. Most people don't factor this piece in when deciding where to stop leveling their construction. Ladies and gentlemen, we actually have a surprise addition to the list. The Shooting Stars update came out the other day, and the telescopes you can build in your player-owned house are actually used to find these stars, like where they land and whatnot. It's an upgradable furniture piece, but the highest level is at 84. If you ever wanted to mine some of the fallen stars, you'll definitely have to build one of these inside of your observatory, so we'll put it right in specific use. If I had to pick an honorable mention, just one of them, I would pick the achievement gallery. I mean, you're probably already gonna have one for the jewelry box and like the occult altar. It also has a lot of pieces for like looking back on the stuff you've done and flexing. You know, it's your flex room. You love it. Everyone loves it. I think I did a pretty good job narrowing down all the useful pieces in building your house. But maybe, just maybe, I might have missed something that's actually nice. If I did end up missing something, definitely tell me down below. I always like to make sure my guides are as accurate as possible, and anytime I forget something, I always update it down below in the comments. I'm never too prideful to admit when I've made a mistake or forgot to do something. Besides that, if you guys ever have any questions on construction, or RuneScape in general, feel free to ask me. If any of you guys did find this video helpful or enjoyable, then a thumbs up on it really helps out the channel. It's by far the easiest thing you guys can do to help me out, and it doesn't go unnoticed. I always pay attention to these things, and I'm forever grateful. That is all I'm gonna have for you guys this week though. I hope all of you gamers out there have a wonderful ass day, and I'll see you in the next video. Because you're subscribed. I know you're subscribed. Almost all of my viewers are subscribed. I definitely know that. It's real. I swear to God, it's real.